How's it going, guys? So today we're working within Maya. I'm actually going to show you how to set up a simple rig. So the idea behind this is the stopper plate for this bow. This is just a simple model that I made inside of Blender. But this is the stopper and this is the bow. I want both of these to pull back. Additionally, I want this string right here to kind of like get closer to this. So as it pulls back, like you'll see stretching in this string and you'll see stretching in the bowstring. So the first thing we need to start doing is we actually need to start with our rigging. I'm going to go into the side view, so not that view, side view, so I can actually see it. I know it's a front view, but just kind of bear with me. So we need to start creating bones. And one thing I want to be very clear on, make sure this is unchecked. If this is checked, you will get some really weird results. This is called scale compensate. If this is checked and you try to import it to Unity, you'll get a lot of weird stretching and things like that. So make sure that's unchecked whenever you are creating joints. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to create one joint here. And the purpose behind this joint is we can add this in as a socket. So if you're working within the Unreal Engine or you're working within Unity, you can simply add it as an extra socket within your character's skeletal mesh. And one thing I want to do is up here at the top, we have all these different tools, all these different options. This is X-ray mode, which I work in a lot, and you can kind of see what's going on, but we can also check this, and this will put the joints in front. So I'm going to want a joint right here. I'm going to want a joint right here. This joint right here is actually going to split off into two, so let me undo that. I'm actually going to set this joint right here. I'm going to set another one right here, and then another one right here. Then I actually need to make sure that I have this selected, so this way I can see where all of my mesh points are. I'm going to bring 1 point here, 1 point here, and 1 point here. Alright, I'm going to press G on the keyboard so I can redo my last action, which in this case it's creating bones. I'm going to select this bone right here. I'm going to put a point here and put a point here. I'm going to press G again. This time I'm going to start right here. I'm going to come down to about here, and then I'm going to come down to here, and then I'm going to do two bones right here, just like that. I'll press G, and these will be the last two bones I create, so this is going to be 1, and this is going to be 2. And so now that we have our bone built, let's go and double check this in the view, and that looks really good. So we can come back in here. And also, the way I'm switching windows is I'm just tapping on the space bar. And then wherever my mouse is hovered over, I'll tap on the space bar again to go into that view. So tap once, it shows all 4. Hover my mouse over here, tap it again, I go into this view. In case you're wondering how I'm doing that. So the next thing I need to do is I need to go ahead and bind this to the mesh. So I'm going to select my joint, select that. I'm actually going to switch this from modeling to rigging. I'm going to go to skin, bind skin, and boom. We can verify this is working by having our root joint right here selected. Let's just move it real quick. So it's moving everything. That is great. Now I already know from previous experience, because I've already rigged this, but I already know if I try to rotate this, we get some really weird stretching right here with the string. And the reason why that is because of, I'm trying to think how to explain this, the painted whites. So is what we want to do is we actually want to expand out all of our joints. Now some of y'all might know these by bones, joints. They're both basically the same thing. So this is going to be called string mid end. This one will be called string mid. Let's see, which one do I have selected? Right there. So this is going to be string mid start. There we go. This one is going to be bow top bend. Bow mid bend. Bow center top. This one is just center top. center. And this one is our reference. Right here, we need to see which one we have selected, which is right here. Okay. So this one is our stopper top mid, stopper top end. So we'll come down here, and this is going to be our bow center bottom. This will be bow bottom bend. We'll select this one. This is our bow bottom bend mid, bow bottom bend end, bow stopper bottom mid, bow stopper bottom end. There we go. So now that we have all these named out, is what we can do is we can double click on this. Now I'm going to drag my window over here so you can see it. And what we need to do is we need to go to the string mid, and we need to make sure this value is set to 1. Now whenever you paint weights, what are you actually painting? Well, what you're actually painting is you are painting vertices. So right here we can see that this is white, but if we come and select this, not that one, we're looking for the string mid. Here we go. So the string mid right here, we need to actually paint this where it is completely white. So we're going to paint that vertice, and then the mid start, we will paint this white as well. We should probably actually be painting that white as well, but the reason why I'm not, because I want it to have a little bit of deformation depending on how it's pulled. So we can definitely figure out later on. So this is the bow top bend, which is this joint right here. So I already know that that's going to have a maximum value, because this is where it's really going to be deforming. But additionally, the string needs to be pulled with it as well. And then also this string is attached to this, so that will be pulled with it as well also. I'm just coming in here and I'm painting these vertices white. That's it. So for the mid, we don't want these in here at all. And a way that we can kind of like deal with that is we can click on the stopper top end and paint all of this white just right here on the edges. Or I say edges, vertices, shall I say. And so now when we come back in here on the mid, as you can see, well, that's not the right one. We need the bend. We no longer have those painted in there, although we do have an issue right here. So when you go to the top bend and make sure that this is painted white as well. And so right here, now that it is blacked out, that is perfect. And then we'll come to the center top. That is perfect. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing with the bottom. So we have the bottom right here, and the steps I'm taking are the exact same steps that you would do for animating a character. It's just the character is a little bit more complicated. So, but it is the same essentially. Same steps, same process, same can of beans. Alright, so that is all painted. Now we need to paint this right here and make sure that that is all white. By the way, white means it has full... I'm just going to open up paint and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if it is white and if it is black, what is the difference? Well, white means it has... it's binded to it completely. So if both of these joints, say that this is a white joint and you have a bone right here or a joint. So if your cube right here was attached to this, it would stretch all the way out if the cube was white. Whereas right here, if it was black, and I'm going to make this about the same, if it was right here and it didn't have any opacity to it or any white to it, then it wouldn't do anything. So black means it has zero, like the joint itself will have zero effect on it, and white means it has full effect on it. So you might be wondering why I'm painting this completely white then. Well, that's because this is a simple object, so I don't need to I don't need to have to worry about, oh, what is it? Like movement or anything like that. If this was a character, you absolutely would not do this. You would actually start looking for weights in between. I chose to go ahead and showcase this object particularly because this is a simple object and it's something I can do very quickly. But that's the only reason for me choosing to do this. So now that we have all those painted, let's go ahead and go through them and make sure that we don't have anything else anywhere else. And it looks like we should be good. This one right here needs a little bit more around it, so I'm actually going to bring that opacity up right about here. Not completely accurate, but it should be fine for what I'm showing. Okay, there we go. So if we pull the string back, the string deforms perfectly. And of course, as you pull the string back, we would expect this up here to bend down as well. And it does. So that is actually looking really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Q on the keyboard. I can go and close this window now. I'm going to grab this one, hold down Shift. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to select this one, and this one. And then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to select this, or not that one. I want to select this joint and this joint. And right here on my keyframe, I'm actually going to hit Set on 0. My animation is at 30 frames a second. So at 60, I'm going to set it right here. And at 56, this is where we start animating. Now, one thing I want to kind of like showcase with Maya, because I am a hardcore Maya user, when I start moving this, you'll notice it automatically puts a keyframe in for me. It may not do that for you. The reason why it's doing that for me is because of this little icon right here. Without that being selected, as you can see, it doesn't insert a keyframe, and I'd have to press S. But this right here is called auto key, so it will automatically put a keyframe in for me. So I'm actually going to pull this bow back, and we're going to start bending this where the top bends, and we're going to bend this one just to show a little bit of a pull. And I'm actually going to take this one step further and actually pull this back just a little bit. I know it's not 100% accurate, but we're artists. We can do whatever we want. So I'm going to pull this one up. And also something I want to also say real quickly, if you're not getting the same results with the rotate tool, double click on this tool and make sure that, right now mine's set to object, that's fine, but you may want to set yours to world. So that will also change your results as well. So I'm actually going to pull this one back. I'm going to press W on the keyboard. I'm going to move this up right about here. And then this right here, I need to rotate it. Something kind of like that. I'm actually going to pull this up. Let's see, I need to rotate that where it's facing down. I will pull straight back, pull up, pull straight back. And so this is a simple bow animation. So if we hit play, the person draws it back, poof. And let's say we don't like this, like, I just don't know about that animation right there, that just doesn't look right. Well, is what we can do is, let's go ahead and select all of these bones that have animations. And we can actually middle mouse click. So this is at 56. Let's say we want it set to 58. We'll press set. And I'm middle mouse dragging. So if you try to left click and do that, you're going to get some really weird things. Now, I can see up there, right up here, that I didn't grab that one. So I'm just going to move this, middle mouse click again. I'm going to hit set. And now we should have a slightly faster bow release. So they pull back and poof. Pull back and poof. So that is simple rigging inside of Maya. I do not have a tutorial on how to make a bow and arrow mesh. But that's basically how you would animate it, rig it, and everything like that. So I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial, and I shall see y'all later.